Free for all. Whatever it takes.
Yo, welcome to the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 review here on Megascorcher.com. I am Wild Matt. Let's just jump right into it. Call of Duty has been an interesting topic for me as of late. I did play the original Black Ops. I liked the storyline. The online was actually quite surprising for me. I have not enjoyed an online since probably the first Modern Warfare, and I did play some Modern Warfare 2 as well, but by the time the third game came out in that series, I was more entertained by the storyline and the campaign, and the online just seemed uninteresting to me. So jumping right off to the pluses right now, the online in this is pretty awesome. It is fast to join a game. There's a lot of online modes to choose from, which could be a good or a bad thing depending on how you look at it. I always tend to stick to 3 core modes, which is Team Deathmatch, Free for All, and the one where you capture and hold points. I would call it capture and hold, but I know that's not what it's called. Domination, maybe? Something like that. The new weapons in the online are a lot of fun. All the attachments are on the guns that they added that are new include the target finder, which when you look down the sight you see people marked that are your enemies, which is pretty cool. They also have a new one where you can see through walls. If you know how the UAV pulsates on the map when you do it, the reticle kind of works like that. You see like a line pulse through the world, and then that's how you see people, and it's a cool looking effect as well. That's another thing. The game looks really great. It runs at 60 frames per second as well. No complaints about the graphics really, except for a couple of spots where there will be major pop-ins. That's mostly in the campaign. In a few spots though, there's objects that just straight up disappear sometimes. I had a radio tower at Menendez's camp, and it was weird because when I looked away, it was gone. Then I looked back, it was there again. It kept doing that. It was weird. And also, there's some weird fadeaways during the cutscenes where you'll see like the gameplay pop in for about half a second, and then bam, cutscene. It's like, well, okay, I guess I saw what I'm gonna do next. Now I'm gonna be in this boat. I wasn't supposed to see that, I guess, but still, I saw it, that was weird. So yeah, the online is awesome. The campaign stands out in this one, in my opinion. I really love what they did with it. You go from 2025, which is not that far from now, and in the 1970s and 80s during the Cold War era. The way you do that is you're Alex Mason, the guy from the first game, the guy that was in the chair getting brainwashed by Russians, right? I'm not making that up. He probably killed JFK. That's what it led up to, all that entire game. It was a pretty awesome storyline. I didn't really spoil all that much. Don't worry about it. That was not a huge spoiler because we aren't even sure about that anyways. But the way that they split off this story is that your Woods, which was also a character in the first game, he's now old in 2025, and he's retelling tales to David Mason, which is Alex's son, and that's how you switch between the two worlds. I think you only play about 4 characters in this game, which is a nice change of pace because Modern Warfare 3 was kind of all over the place, and I wasn't even sure who I was playing as in the last game. But with this one, you know who you're playing. You're like, oh, you're Section David Cross. Okay, good stuff. You're Raul Menendez, the main bad guy. Oh, all right. And his stuff is really awesome. Some of the best moments in the campaign is when you are playing as Menendez. Then you play as Woods as well. And sometimes you'll play as a in-between character, which doesn't really happen that often, and they're pretty short when they do happen. And also, the campaign remains to be over the top. The jet sequences are pretty awesome. The whole LA scene is also awesome. There's great dialogue in this and great voice work. One of the actors from The Walking Dead is in this game. I forget his name, but he is one of the brothers in that, and the guy who chops off his hand. Anyways, he's in there, and he's probably my favorite character. His name is Harper. It has nothing to do with his voice, actually. Like, it does lend a great touch to the character, but just the way that he interacts with people and it can flick the switch to being pissed off really easy. And there's a moment in there with a lady, which I won't spoil, but it's all good stuff. And zombies in this is actually a great surprise to me because I never really liked it in the past. I thought it was kind of lame in World at War and even in the last Black Ops, but with this one they did some things differently that I liked, like the bus depot level. You're actually switching locales every now and again. You're getting in a bus that's robot operated, and it's pretty cool. The robot looks crazy. I'm assuming he used to have skin, but it burnt off somehow. I don't know, but you switch from location to location. And on the other 2 locations, you have 2 factions. You are either playing as CIA or CDC, and you are competing against each other. And it's really fun that they added an 8-player mode with 2 teams, and you're competing to see who can kill more zombies and all that stuff. And a lot of the settings reminds me of The Walking Dead as well, which I like. Let's go into some of the minuses now. I already mentioned the weird graphical glitches like the pop-ins and the disappearing objects and weird fadeaways during cutscenes and all that. There's a weird moment in the game where it just broke. It wouldn't let me progress at all, so I had to restart the mission. That was kind of shitty. The lip syncing is strange. Sometimes the character's lips moves and there's nothing that comes out. But for the most part, man, the faces are probably the most improved aspect of the graphics for this game. They look really good, the faces overall. The gameplay has not evolved much. It's the same old, same old. You know, you're the guy that's going to be shooting everybody. The AI partners are kind of worthless. There's some sneaking missions which are just, hey, follow this guy and you'll be fine. And I got caught a couple times where I was just like, man, this makes no sense. You just got to follow the guy. Don't try to go off on your own on those sneaking missions. It doesn't work. As far as the main characters go, they are awesome, but the side characters are pretty bland. They're just like, yep, I'm a soldier. Okay, good stuff. Yes, you are. There's a stupid Easter egg after the credit roll where you play a concert with Avenged Sevenfold. It's just weird. Woods is in a wheelchair the entire game, and then he gets up and he's able to play the drums. It's so stupid. Menendez, depending on the ending, he's not even supposed to be there. And he's there playing guitar with Avenged Sevenfold at the end. It's just weird. Talking about that, though, there are options in the campaign. You have choices to make, whether you can kill this guy or not kill him, or... Yeah, those are the main choices where it just straight up gives you an option to push X or A and you do this or do that. But there's other options in the game where it's not very evident, and you might even just not notice it. But I did play some of it over again to see if the choices made that much of a difference, and ultimately it did not. It tells basically the same story. The biggest difference is at the end. The very last choice makes the biggest difference, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that if they do decide to make a Black Ops 3 where it would pick up from where this game ended, because I don't know what they would do with that if that's what the next game is. Not that the audio is crappy. That's not what I want to say here. But it unimpressed me. There are better audio games out there. Like, the guns did not sound that great, but it's still fine. And everything else, though, about it, like the background noises, the jet noises, the dialogue and the voiceovers are pretty awesome. But just the actual shooting just doesn't sound that great to me. I know that a lot of people will disagree with me, which is fine. But if you go play other games like Battlefield, I think that sounds better. And even Halo 4, I think Halo 4 stepped up its game in the audio department this year, and it was really good. And this seems like another Call of Duty game. I don't know. It was really, yeah. They used to be high up there in terms of audio, and it never evolved, in my opinion. And the one-liners in the zombie mode are pretty lame. The dialogue in there really is terrible at times. There was one moment where you have this little ass jump to make from building to building, and I just kept dying over and over and over.
Move! Gunship strike! Inbound!
Come on, move!
Yeah, kind of like that. And it was just weird. I would either get stuck on the guy that was running in front of me, or I would stop and wait a little bit, but then the guy behind me I would get stuck on. It was just a weird moment. And when I did it, I don't know what the hell I did differently. I have no idea. There's these new Strike Force missions in the storyline, which they branch off. You can decide to not do them, you can decide to do them, but it turns it into an RTS basically. You can go into the first person view, and you can also decide to control your guys from that first person, but you can play the entire game from that overhead view and direct your troops, and they will shoot on their own and all that stuff. But it's just not that great. In theory, I wanted to like it, but it's just not that great. But overall, I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. It won't change your mind about Call of Duty, and it shouldn't, because it is selling an assload of copies, and as long as it's doing that, why change it up? But I know that's been a complaint for the longest time. I've been considering stopping to get Call of Duty for a while, but I just can't stop myself. I just can't stop myself. And the campaign in this was pretty awesome. It's worth the $60 price of admission alone. But then add on the zombies and the online on top of that, and it's a pretty great package. I can't complain about it. So like I said, 4 out of 5. Thanks for watching the review. See you guys.